Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and welcome to the Game Week 19 deadline stream. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? I've yet to make my transfers as well. Didn't have much time to record videos this week, so pretty much what you see on screen is my team unchanged without making any transfers. I will be making my transfers on stream live for you guys because I've only just decided my moves. Like I was still deciding who I wanted to replace Bruno Fernandes with. I was also looking at a couple of other combination transfers, and I've landed on something that I think will turn a few hits for sure. But I'm pretty confident that with those set of moves, that I do think it will set me up quite well for the next few game weeks. So at this point, let me just start with saying hi to some of you guys in the chat before we get started. AC Cool 06 says hello, nice to have you in the chat. Drunk Freddy Boy, nice to have you as well. Axel Devil 8, Alif, nice to see you. G is on the wine, yes indeed. Do you think Minte starts? Worth taking him out? I've got 1.5 million in the bank, so have up to 7.5 million for his replacement. Looking at Rodgers, but he plays Arsenal away this week. I think for what it's worth, I'm holding on to Minte. There will be games coming thick and fast, and even if Minte doesn't start, and let's say he comes on in the later parts of the game, at least I think I'll be more confident of him starting in game week 20, which is coming very soon, and he'll be playing Burnley then. So for my team, I'll be giving him these last 2 game weeks. Hopefully he gets something. And I've weighed up a -4 for my team as well. So currently I only have 1 free transfer. As you'll see later on, I also have only 0.1 million in the bank. And I plan to make a few transfers, and selling Timber is one of those moves as well. And yeah, I mean, overall, I do think that with the set of transfers that I have planned, eventually it will leave me with enough flexibility to make more aggressive moves later on. But of course, this week being a rather aggressive move that I'm looking at as well. VJ, nice to have you in the chat. Henry says, I have Ekitike and Haaland. Who's a good captain option? You're not late at all. We just started, right? Blob, nice to have you in the chat. Melvin, nice to have you in the chat as well. Let's just get started nice and early with a very quick captaincy poll. Game week 19 captaincy poll. And I think it's pretty straightforward this week. It's either Haaland or Cunha or Ekitike. And then if you have any other captain options you're going for, comment who. So currently this is what it's looking at for captaincy poll. So maybe just let me kind of talk through a little bit of my thinking in terms of players this week before I kind of make my transfers and also get to your questions. What I'll say first is, in terms of my own team, like there's only a couple of there's a few problem areas in my team that I think are very sure I have to deal with, Bruno Fernandes being one of them. But I weighed up whether a -4 was worth it for my team, and after looking at a couple of combinations, I've kind of decided that there is one particular combination I'm quite confident of. So I think without kind of beating about the bush too much, I'm going to start off with, making a couple of, not making the transfers, but talking through my thought process, and maybe that would give you guys some insight as well to what I'm thinking of this week and my thoughts on certain players. So the thing with Timber, and I'm not super confident of whether he actually starts or not. I think between Timber and Gabriel, I think Timber has a better chance of starting, simply because there's many games in quick succession. I don't know how many Gabriel is going to start, so I wouldn't be so confident to buy Gabriel in for someone like Timber, even though eventually I will want Gabriel in my team. Like, there's no doubt about that. So when I look at the Arsenal fixtures, I also see that there's, Aston Villa this week. It's not a fixture that's super good because Aston Villa are playing well. Game week 20 against Bournemouth is arguably okay, but then game week 21 they play Liverpool as well, right? Who, even though aren't really firing in terms of goal scoring, they still, you would expect them to score against Arsenal. And then in game week 22 onwards, this is when I think you could, if you wish to, jump back onto Gabriel again. So with that in mind, I'm actually not opposed to selling someone like Timber this week, and which is why the first transfer I'm actually eyeing up is to sell Timber, and it's obviously less of an important move than the selling of Bruno Fernandes to the replacement, because he is obviously the bigger issue. Timber has a chance of starting, but I don't mind taking this chance to go for Dorgu. Now, this is a very short-term move. He's only 4.2 million, and you see how much money it leaves me in the bank as well. And yeah, I think it just frees up so much options for me later on. Now, and then with this kind of, obviously Dorgu is just going to be a dead spot in my team by the time AFCON is over and Ahmad comes back into the Manchester United team, by which time I would be happy enough just to have Dorgu as a dead spot, because I would eventually upgrade Rodon. I'll have lots of money. Rodon could be upgraded to Gabriel in the future. So it's kind of I'm kind of indirectly moving for Gabriel by going for Dorgu instead of Timber, and then going Rodon up to Gabriel later on. So that's just how I think I've decided to do it. And then for my Bruno Fernandes replacement, I'm not super keen. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm not super keen on someone like Cunha because of how many Manchester United players are missing from the team. I think no doubt Cunha will have the most routes to points of all the players so far. Mason Mount is a doubt. And yeah, I think Wolves in general do have a way to shut out the bigger side so far, as we've seen in the last few game weeks. So I'm happy enough to cover United with Dorgu, potentially getting a clean sheet as well. And then I'm going for Bruno Guimaraes here. I'm quite certain this is the combination of moves that I want to go for. So by going for Bruno Guimaraes, it basically gives me 4.1 million in the bank. Lots of money, and this is where you see that eventually I will just upgrade Rodon to Gabriel. And so basically my 4.0 million option, or I guess 4.2 million option, just becomes a dead spot by the time AFCON comes, which is fine. Right? So eventually I will still have 4 pretty good starting defenders in O'Reilly, Van Dijk, as well as Rodon, who would eventually become Gabriel here. Let me just put it in for illustration purposes, but not doing it this week. And then, yeah, Anderson potentially could be replaced later on, but not an issue at this moment. And then midfielders I'm pretty alright with. I mean, Declan Rice is obviously going nowhere. Minte is a player that once he finishes Burnley in game week 20, I will sell him potentially for Rodgers, and I will have enough money for that. So likely, I mean, if I just bring all the, not going to make all these transfers right now, but if I kind of show you in terms of the budget planning for all these moves, Minte will eventually become Rodgers. Foden is obviously fine to stay. Bruno Guimaraes is okay to keep as well until the Newcastle fixtures start to turn again, right? And then Anderson is just an enabler. Up front, I'm happy enough to have these front three as well. So it leaves me with, kind of 0.4 in the bank to play around with in terms of price changes. But if not, I think for now, let me just reverse the moves. All right, so obviously keeping Minte still, not going for Gabriel just yet. And yeah, so this week, the moves is pretty much 2 transfers for a -4 of Dorgu in for Timber and Bruno Guimaraes in for Bruno Fernandes. So that is it for now. I'm going to leave this on the... I mean, I haven't made the transfers yet, but I'm going to leave this on the screen, and I'll take a look at some of your questions. I'll take a look at... This is for a -4 as well, by the way. Take a look at what you guys have in terms of your opinions on... I like to know as well, what are your opinions on these transfers? I have Semenyo and Senesi, only 1 free transfer. Do I need to replace any of them? I think Senesi is probably a player you won't want to start this week. I wouldn't say Semenyo is someone you must sell, even though it does make a lot of sense to sell Semenyo because potentially he might not. I mean, rumors are that he will likely get his last game at Bournemouth um, this game week against Chelsea. But yeah, after that, he's probably going to somewhere like Manchester City, assuming there's no kind of last minute soups for him. In which case, I think it's just a good opportunity to sell him, right? One free transfer, I'd actually sell Semenyo ahead of Senesi. VJ and I say F you in the chat. Ray Thomas says, do you think it's worth taking a -4 to replace Wilson with Gordon? I'd definitely be getting rid of Wilson at some point soon. My issue with Gordon, which is also another reason why I haven't gone for him as my Bruno Fernandes replacement, is just the minutes. Like, the fixtures are coming thick and fast. I'm more confident of Bruno Guimaraes starting every single game over this festive period than I am of Gordon starting. And there's loads of attackers to replace with Gordon. There's Harvey Barnes, there's Jacob Murphy, there's Anthony Elanga as well. All of them are, very, very good wingers that could come in for Anthony Gordon. Confused between starting Calvert-Lewin and Reinders. Calvert-Lewin is in pretty irresistible form right now, but it's Liverpool away. Then again, I wouldn't put it past Leeds to do it because actually Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been scoring in a good chunk of the game so far. If I actually pull, Dominic Calvert-Lewin up, just give me a moment. So we're looking at Calvert-Lewin now. Yeah, I mean, he's actually returned even in the last game that he played against Liverpool. So he scored against 1 goal against Man City, 1 goal against Chelsea, 1 against Liverpool, 1 against Brentford, 2 against Palace, 1 against Sunderland. Honestly, if I look at the run for Calvert-Lewin, it's a little bit of a troll because the point where a lot of people jumped on him was kind of here in game week 8 where he started with Burnley. So Burnley, West Ham, Brighton, Forest, Aston Villa, he blanks. People kind of, get sick and tired of Calvert-Lewin and then they sell him just before Man City and he starts to score. Where, I mean, it's just incredible. So he is becoming a bit of a troll, but I would say it's quite difficult to bench someone like Calvert-Lewin now. So I would prefer starting Calvert-Lewin over Reinders. Okay, I'm a little bit behind on the chat. I do understand that. So I'm going to speed through some of the questions. If I do miss your question, just do me a favor and put it into the chat again. What do you think of selling Timber to Theo? I don't mind it. If it's for free as well, I don't mind it. I'm doing this -4 here for a hit. I mean, essentially, I'm doing my transfers here for a -4. Mente improved the Brighton attack immediately when he came on last game week. My take is the manager was just giving him a kick to improve him. Well, basically, what I'll say is there were a couple of quotes on Mente after that where Hertzler was not exactly super happy with how Mente has been performing of late. So I wouldn't say that it's guaranteed that Mente is going to start this game, but I think there is a good chance. And yes, I do agree that against Arsenal, there was a very, very clear. I think Brighton's best chance fell to Mente. And if not for that Raya incredible save, Mente would have scored. Right, so I think he does deserve to start this, but let's see what happens. As I said, my thinking with Mente is that even if he doesn't start this game and he comes on for a one-pointer, maybe around the 70th minute, for example, I'm not too bummed because I'm more confident that he will start against Burnley in game week 20. So I'm just kind of giving him 2 game weeks and then we'll see what happens. Do you think Semenyo will start and play 90 minutes pending his imminent transfer to Man City? So that's the issue. Okay, give me a moment. So that's the issue with Semenyo, right? Which is why I think you may as well just sell him, because it's a perfect kind of I guess if there's any other push that you need to sell him, it's that he's playing he could not be starting this game, that's one, and he's playing Chelsea, that's the second one, even if he starts. So either ways, it's kind of a double whammy. I don't think it makes sense to kind of keep Semenyo. Only thing is, if you are selling him for a hit, then it becomes a little bit less clear. So obviously team dependent, this one. Johnny Boy says, anyway, I can DM you my team, as it's a tricky one to explain. So you could just actually drop your team. Just below me here, there's a QR code to the Telegram group chat. So you can just simply drop your team in there, and I'll have a look at it maybe after the stream. Nextland says, Foden and Neto versus Palmer and Shirky. Please answer. For now, honestly, I think it's looking like Palmer and Shirky, to be honest. Really hope the majority are wrong on Captaincy Haaland. I'm going Cunha. I'm still on Haaland at this point. Okay, I'm going to speed through the questions. Rice not starting. Oh yeah, I read the rumors. I saw the rumors about Rice not being pictured in training, but the thing with Arsenal is I always feel like Arteta does play mind games once in a while. I can never trust him. Basically. Thank you very much. VJ says, drop a like on the stream. If you guys haven't already done so, please do drop a like on the stream. Someone says, great to see you, Leon. Hope your team is doing well. Love the stream, but like twice if I could. Thank you very much, Sowen. Appreciate that. Thoughts on this, please. Raya, Keane, Van der Ven, James, Saka, Cunha, Shirky, Gravenberg, Haaland, Ekitike, Voltamala. This feels like a... Is this a free hit team? Let me know if it's a free hit team. Oh, quick free hit draft on your screen, please. Okay. Maybe I'll read it out because I haven't actually got the screens prepared. Just got back from work actually. But I'll read it out because I did put up a free hit draft for the members in the gold members in the Telegram group chat. Let me just read it out. All right, so I have Lemons in goal, covering the Wolves fixture for United. My back three would be Malik Thiaw, Dorgu, as well as Gabriel. And then in midfield is Palmer, Cunha, Gordon, and Declan Rice. And then up front, Voltemada, Haaland, Captain, and Ekitike. So that would actually be my free hit draft. I go again. Lemons as the keeper, Thiaw, Dorgu, and Gabriel. And then Palmer, Cunha, Gordon, and Declan Rice, as well as Haaland, Ekitike, and Voltemada up front. That would be my free hit draft. VJ says only 15 likes. I'll be only on 15 likes. If you guys could get me up to, I don't know, maybe, should we aim for 50 likes today? If you can get up to 50 likes today, that would be great. There's about 100 of you guys in here, so if just half of you guys like, that would be incredible. Okay, let me get back to the chat. I may as well make my transfers as well because I'm quite certain I'll be making these transfers. Excuse me. So, let me make my transfers. So it's Timber. If you guys can't see, it's Timber out for Dorgu, and Bruno Fernandes out for Bruno Guimaraes for a -4. So I'll confirm -4. So the -4 is confirmed now. And yeah, I have Dorgu in here. I have Bruno Guimaraes in here. This is actually the first hit I've taken this season. And I think the threshold for me to take a hit is quite high. But I see upside in this move. So I'm not generally opposed to taking hits, but I think there is genuine upside to this hit. So yeah, I mean, I really like the team as well after this set of transfers. And it's not as if I'm not going to get Arsenal defenders back. Don't worry, like Gabriel is going to come back into the team. As I've mentioned, I have plans for Rodgers as well. Eventually, Van Dijk will move on to someone like a Trevor Chalobah. We'll see. But yeah, I have just basically a lot of flexibility now, which I don't, which I think is great in terms of, you know, opening up. I have 4.1 million in the bank. I can go to any player that I want to next week, pretty much. And then again, I don't feel like I'm compromising too much on the team this week as well. So let's see what happens. Obviously, a team being good on paper just doesn't necessarily equate to a good score. And I'm already starting on a -4. So let's see what happens. But for now, as per how it is, I'm pretty happy with that. So looking at the kind of captaincy options now, because I don't have Cunha, I think it's pretty straightforward for me that I captain Haaland and I vice captain Ekitike. I'm also more keen on vice captaining Haaland. Even if I had Cunha, I probably would go Haaland, put it that way, because I think that with Sunderland missing so many players due to the African Cup of Nations, and you've seen the way that they've defended as well recently. Last game against Leeds, they conceded so much XG. Yeah, I just think Haaland is going to have a good one this game week. And TK, I'm just not as confident because he doesn't have as many routes to points. He's not on penalties. And yeah, because Szoboszlai is likely going to be back for Leeds game. So this would obviously then, for me, put Szoboszlai ahead of Ekitike in the pecking order for penalties. Okay, let me try to speed through and answer as many questions as I can. I'm literally going to just read through. All right. Sunderland heavily affected by 6 African Cup of Nation players. I think it's more than 6, to be honest. But yeah, it says go Haaland captain or cap Ekitike at home. I would go Haaland captain. Start Gordon or Voltemada. I think you have to start both this week against Burnley. Foden and Neto, this one I've answered. Which part of Malaysia are you from? I'm not from Malaysia, I'm from Singapore. Rice not starting. I heard those rumors. If he doesn't start, I don't think he will come on. In which case, probably I get Anderson off the bench. And I prefer Elliot Anderson to come off the bench instead of Joachim Anderson. So that's why I'm going to leave the benching order exactly how it is. Let me just confirm this. Yep. Okay. I think you can go for Igor Jesus if you need a cheap forward. Forest looks decent again. Not exactly, to be honest. I'm not actually super keen on Igor Jesus. Play Petrovic or Dubravka. Well, both don't have good fixtures this week. If you're looking at save points, then probably Dubravka. Because I don't think Petrovic keeps a clean sheet as well. I mean, Bournemouth has just been defending really poorly right now. Play Martinez, Manchester United. Yeah, I mean, if you have him, you can play him. He's kind of in that region where you don't buy, don't sell, and you just start. Best free hit goalkeeper. I would be pretty happy to go with Lemons as a 1 week punt, to be honest. On a wildcard this game week, brought in complete differential. Omari Hutchinson, he's been playing well. Fair enough. Hopefully he does well for you. Good afternoon, bench boost this week. Would you take a hit to swap Giu to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, João Pedro, etc.? If you're on a bench boost, why not? If you're on a bench boost, then essentially I would, because then the hit becomes a -2. Do you think Sell starts or the 4.0 million Forest keeper keeps his place? Excuse me. The thing with Sells right now is that I still think he's first choice keeper. He was obviously injured for a while, and that's why he missed out. I think eventually Sells will come back in. That's my guess. Why Bruno not? Do you think Hincapi starts? I think yes. Provided Gabriel doesn't start. If Gabriel starts, then it would be Gabriel and Saliba, of course. Why Bruno and not Gordon? On that Hincapi start as well. I think it is more likely that Gabriel starts this one and then gets benched against Bournemouth. I think that's the slightly easier fixture. And therefore, I think maybe Hincapi doesn't start this one and starts in game week 20 instead. That's just my own guess. Why Bruno and not Gordon? For the minutes, I'm more confident of Bruno Guimaraes' minutes. Bench boost active, 2 free transfers, Rodon to Dorgu and Giu to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's a fantastic set of transfers for the bench boost. I hope that works out well for you. Bruno Guimaraes or Minte, I have Voltemada. If transferring in, I wouldn't transfer Minte in. Definitely Bruno Guimaraes over Minte. What's your perfect wild card? I'm wild carding now. Currently have in my draft Sanchez, Dubravka, Dorgu, Hall, Frimpong, Gabriel, Alderete, Cunha, Saka, Foden, Wilson, Lewis. Okay, so I wouldn't have Lewis Miley. I wouldn't have Wilson. I wouldn't have Frimpong and Dorgu. I would have either one, because eventually both of them become issues in your team. Your front three is fine. So those problem players that I've mentioned, you probably have to look for replacements for them. Play grid. I've answered this one. Is -4 for bench boost worth it? I'd say that -4 is probably the furthest I'll go. It becomes a -2 if you think about it, because you're getting an extra player off the bench at the minimum. But yeah, the max I'd go is a -4. Recommend some Chelsea players for a free hit. It's definitely Palmer against Bournemouth. I think he'll do well. I can get to Esteval, by the way, for any of those mids for a 1 week punt. But I'm not confident of Esteval starting though. Brian says, hi Leon, Happy New Year to you. Is Minte a priority sell? Press conference says he's having some personal issues. Well, Happy New Year to you as well. And thank you for reminding me. Today is probably the last stream of 2025. So thank you to every single one of you for sticking with the channel this year. I genuinely hope that I was having an easier time at work right now so that I can be putting out more content. But unfortunately, it is kind of peak period for me. My work in personal life is just you would think that most people are kind of off peak right now, but I am actually in the peak of my kind of deliverables. So unfortunately, I'm not able to put out as much content or stream as much as I would wish that I was able to. But yeah, thank you still for sticking with me, for being here on the stream. I mean, there's 109 of you guys, so that's incredible. And yeah, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching the videos, liking, commenting, being here and talking to me on the stream already is just something that I don't take for granted. So Happy New Year to all of you guys. In case you kind of drop off or you don't see any more content until the new year. And I wish the year ahead for you guys is, one filled with laughter, joy, and prosperity for all of you guys. Success for all of you guys. So back to your question, is Minte a priority sell? I'd say no. The personal issues, I read about that, doesn't put me off too much still. Who is on your bench for the free hit team? On the bench for my free hit team is Van Heck. I have a dead spot. Dubravka, Van Heck. Let me just have a look. King from Fulham and Mukiele, but King is just a dead spot. It's just to, I mean, on a free hit, you don't have to have such a strong bench. Rice and Timber, will they play? That's the thing, right? That's the kind of the reason why I also kind of pushed myself to take the hit, because I'm not confident Timber starts, and I think there's upside to this combination transfer that I'm making. So Timber, I'd say it's hard to tell. Rice hasn't been pictured in training, so, but you know, Arteta and his mind games, right? Thoughts on going Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel and Richards to Dorgu, or wait a week? I would say you can wait a week. Richards to Dorgu could still be made this week if it's for free though. FPL Pickle's in the chat. Nice to see you, FPL Pickle. Timber hasn't traveled with the squad. Yeah, I mean, not great at all. Let me just check on Twitter as well. Do you have the source for that, FPL Pickle? Do you have the source for that? Is it Connor? But Declan Rice is likely to... What I'm seeing now is that Declan Rice is likely to miss Arsenal's match against Aston Villa tonight. That's not ideal at all. That is not ideal. But Declan Rice arrived with the squad though, so we'll see. We'll see. Man, there's so much uncertainty around the Arsenal team right now. I'm not even sure if the Declan Rice rumor is true, because different sources are saying different things. Different sources are saying different things. Okay, let's see what happens. But it's not ideal if Declan Rice is injured though. Man. When it rains, it pours, I guess. Let's have a look. But either ways, I still don't regret the transfers that I made. I mean, Dorgu out and Dorgu in and Timber out is still worth the -4, given that I don't think Timber starts. And then Bruno Guimaraes in for Bruno Fernandes is still something that I have to do. So in fact, maybe taking the -4, just in case Declan Rice doesn't start and I get Elliot Anderson off the bench, at least the starting 11 is still then good enough, right? So yeah, I mean, in terms of the news that just came in, that seems as if Declan Rice is a bit of a, I mean, I wouldn't say a bit of a doubt because he was already a doubt. The rumor, which I can't say for sure is going to be the case because different sources are saying different things. But it seems as if Declan Rice wouldn't start. I would still start him in my team, right? Because there's lots of different rumors going around. But if he doesn't start, I'll just get Elliot Anderson off the bench. It's fine. Who did you sell? Alan says, who did you sell to replace Dorgu? You mean, who did I sell to get Dorgu? Well, I sold Timber. K Sang Druk says, Happy New Year. Best wishes to you. Same to you as well, brother. Happy New Year to you as well. I need to know how to pronounce this. I'm probably going to butcher this as well. Funshol Nagmel. I probably did badly there. Let me know how to pronounce that, man. You made another early transfer and Rice is not with the squad. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like even if, because right now I'll take my chances that either ways, long term, I want Declan Rice. I'm not going to sell him unless he's out for a long period of time. So either ways, I wouldn't have sold Declan Rice. And in fact, now making that -4 just makes it, taking that -4 just makes it even more secure that I'll get at least Elliot Anderson off the bench. If I didn't take the -4, then I'll be in an even worse off position, because imagine I have Timber as well as Declan Rice both not starting. Then both Andersons come off the bench from me, and that's not ideal. Yes, I've seen the news. I've seen the news that Declan Rice wouldn't play. We'll see what happens. There definitely are some trolls here as well. Let me just scour Twitter a little bit. I'm going to be silent for a while because I need to ascertain how legitimate the source is. How legitimate is the source? Either ways, it doesn't seem like he'll be out for really long. It would be a short absence. I mean, okay, let me, you know what? Let me try and put it on screen. Excuse me. Let me try and put it on screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys the source, but I honestly don't know. Give me a moment if we can trust it. Right, so essentially this is what it is, right? Declan Rice expected to miss Arsenal's match against Aston Villa tonight after sustaining a knee injury in a 2-1 victory over Brighton. Well, I mean, and he goes on to say as well, pretty much like he says, Rice has been with the squad and will attend the game tonight. Every effort made by player and staff to have him available, but deemed too risky. Hopeful of better news on Timber, while White and Havertz also closing on returns and pushing for inclusion. Calafiori remains a doubt. I mean, this is the source right now, so I think a lot of people are going off of it. I think I would tend to believe it as well, because what it says here is, I mean, what they are saying is that he's been with the squad and will attend the game tonight. So that explains the fact that Connor Hum, who's pretty decent in terms of reliability for an Arsenal source, has seen that Declan Rice arrived with the squad earlier, but it's a big blow. She says it's a big blow should he not make the squad today. So yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of ties in. Make of it what you will. I think right now it seems more likely that he wouldn't be fit for the game. So it is what it is. I'm probably going to have to, as a result of this, I will still start Declan Rice, but I probably have to brace myself for Elliot Anderson coming off the bench. Okay, so I think this FPL Pickle's probably a fake, so I'm going to put him or her on timeout. Okay, so I've kind of put yeah, alright, it is what it is. Put him in timeout, or him or her on timeout, so we'll see what happens. Andrew says, sad that you use another streamer's name to put fake news in a legitimate stream. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that, right? Why would you come to another stream to spread fake news? And FPL Pickle, by the way, is really good in terms of the content she's been putting out. So don't don't come into my stream and use her name and yeah, just spread fake news. That's not a good look at all. So I've blocked this account already. And in fact, I think this account has come on to my stream quite a few times already. So I've kind of put it in a situation where this user will be hidden from all my streams in future. So moving forward, let's try to keep the chat as helpful for everyone as possible and not spread fake news. Yeah, VJ has been doing an incredible job. VJ has been absolutely stellar. FBL Tom said Keen is out. I'll wait for the news as well. Let me find the source. FPL Bamba here says free hit team. Any suggestions? Becker, Torgu, Gabriel, Keane, Gordon, Foden, Saka, Wirtz, Cunha, Ekatike, Haaland. I think the attackers are fine. The only thing is Keane, right? If I guess what FPL Tom says is correct, but let me scour for a bit of a source first. For now, I'll put it back on the team. This is still my team as it stands. In fact, I'm now even happier that I took the -4. Keane and Grealish are doubts, apparently. Yeah, so I've seen that source already. A lot more sources are saying that Declan Rice is going to be out. So yeah, I think it's all coming to light right now. Trying to see if there are other. I mean, this helps as well, right? Ben White and Kai Havertz have both traveled with the Arsenal squad to face Aston Villa. That helps. I mean, it helps in terms of Arsenal's overall chances, is what I'll say. Joe Rodon will be out for around 3 weeks with the ankle injury he sustained at Sunderland on Sunday. 3 weeks is, I mean, it's a lot of game weeks. There's essentially going to be 3 game weeks in the span of, I mean, 19, 20, and 21 is going to be in the span of 8 to 9 days. It's quite crazy. So 3 weeks is a long time in terms of FPL right now. Yeah, it is so far. it is these are the sources that I have. Let me just pull up the source for Everton, but there's no real reliable source, is what I'll say. But I will still show it to you guys. For those of you who want to refer to it, ignore the the GIF at the bottom. But basically, this is the source, right? Keane and Grealish are doubts. Alcaraz are out. And this is by a account that is not a lot of following, but kind of does post quite a bit of content on Everton, right? So there is some form of reliability there, but I wouldn't put too much weight to it as well. It's more a case. I'm not even gonna show it on screen too long. Don't want to mislead you guys, but that is the source, right? Keane and Grealish doubts. Doubts obviously doesn't mean that they won't start. Yeah, so it is what it is. This is my team, right? Back to my team. And yeah, I mean, it is right now the players that I brought in, Dorgu and Bruno Guimaraes, are pretty much. I'm pretty happy with the transfers because I get to cover the United fixtures in Dorgu. I'm not as keen on Cunha as other people are, and I've gone for Bruno Guimaraes for the better fixtures over the next few game weeks. So we'll see what happens. And Declan Rice, obviously, if he misses out, then Elliot Anderson comes in for me. So that is going to be my plan. Is Haaland captain not a trap this week? I think far from a trap, actually. Far from a trap. Play one, Hall, Theo, or Keane. I mean, it has to be, I would say Hall. But benching Malik Theo against Burnley is also not something I would want to do. Keane a doubt, Jack Grealish a doubt, Rice out. Would you start Frimpong? Definitely. I start Frimpong ahead of Rice, in fact, because I'm pretty confident of the Rice rumor right now. Akash says, hey bro, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Which is the best midfield to go for this week? I already have Foden, Shirky, Cunha, Semenyo, and Stack. I'm actually very happy with my 5. Then stick with it. I mean, I guess Semenyo is the only one that you could choose to sell. Semenyo to... I mean, if you're looking for a midfielder right now, there's not lots of options, is what I'll say. Right? I mean, Gordon. But Gordon, again, I'm not confident of the minutes, and that's why I've gone for Bruno Guimaraes. And you already have Cunha. Thank you very much, VJ. We're at 50 likes. It's probably thanks to you. GV says, captaincy is a big dilemma. Yeah, there's about 300 votes, and it's on 60% Haaland. If Cunha does well tonight, and you have Haaland as captain, then New Year will be jittery. And if Cunha does badly, then Cunha will get edgy. Well, that's the fun of FPL. That's the fun of FPL. I'm going with Gehi, O'Reilly, Keane for my defense, Sanchez in goal. Sold Timber to make funds for Arsenal's until Arsenal's bad fixtures get over. It's a stupid risk or fair enough to... It's perfectly fair enough. Started back three of the following: Hall, Frimpong, Dorgu, Gabriel. I would say Hall. Ooh. I would want to start all, to be fair. What does the rest of your team look like? Are you working tomorrow or are you going to watch the matches later? I am working tomorrow, so unfortunately I can't catch the matches. As I said, it is like the peak period for my work, so unfortunately not able to watch the matches, but I'll definitely watch the highlights as always. Bench Virgil or Wilson. I would not bench Virgil. I would bench Wilson. Foden or Semenyo. Definitely Foden. Anderson or Rogers. I would say start Rogers ahead of Anderson. What is the Rice rumors? Is Timber fit? Let me pull it up. By the way, thank you all of you guys for tuning in for today's stream, by the way. We will be ending the stream pretty soon. So if you have any last questions, drop it in the chat. This is the Declan Rice news. Expected to miss Arsenal's match against Aston Villa, sustaining a knee injury in a 2-1 victory against Brighton. Hopeful it will be short absence, but don't want to risk aggravating the issue further. So this is what it is for... and he's been spotted with the Arsenal squad. He will attend the game tonight, but it's very likely he will be out for this game. So honestly speaking, we don't really get lots of Arsenal news come this early. So, but then again, it's coming from a reliable source. Like this is for The Athletic. So honestly, I don't know how Arteta let this slip. I mean, I'm interested to know what happens after this. Imagine the horror if Declan Rice actually starts. I mean, Arteta will be playing insane mind games right now. But yeah, it seems as if Declan Rice isn't going to start. So let's see what happens. For me, I will get Elliot Anderson off the bench. Don't you think Arsenal players have become quite inconsistent in terms of playing time? Random benches where they go deep in all competitions. It is true, but that's why you always back the players who will play every single game. I'd say that even without someone like, without this injury, I'd say Declan Rice is one of those pretty consistent starters, as with Gabriel whenever he's fit. The truth is that Arsenal have been stretched recently. They even had to play the Crystal Palace game, the AFL Cup. And I mean, the fixtures are coming thick and fast for them. So it's not unusual for teams to rotate more around this period of time. Hi Consul, would you take a -4 to rectify this defense? Timber and Roden flagged. Others are Anderson, Senesi, and Konate. 0 in the bank, best Rodon replacement. I would say either Dorgu if you have extra money in the bank, or 0 in the bank. Probably. I mean, if you're just only replacing Rodon, then maybe Heaven. But I'd probably take the... Konate is fine to start. Anderson is okay. Senesi, I think you could take the chance to go for a better defender. Senesi to someone like a Malik Theo, a Lewis Hall. Probably that would be good. Would Frimpong start? My guess is yes. Would Hincapi start? It really depends on whether Gabriel starts and also whether Ben White starts or not. Dorgu or Theo, if I'm buying one this week, probably prefer Dorgu just a little bit. Right, so I'm going to go back to the team now. This is pretty much it. This is where also I will leave you guys for 2025, because the next time I post a video or I do a stream, it will be 2026. So that is absolutely crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. Thank you for tuning in for the GW19 deadline stream. The 2 transfers that I did was to sell Timber and also sell Bruno Fernandes for Dorgu and Bruno Guimaraes. This is for a -4. My captain is Erling Haaland, and this is what it is. I mean, if Declan Rice doesn't start, I'm still having him in the starting 11. If he doesn't start, then Elliot Anderson comes off the bench. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in. All the best for Game Week 19. Hopefully you get green arrows to start off the new year. Let's kick off the new year in a good note. But yeah, more content to come for 2026. Again, as I said, I try to get as much content out for you guys. And once my work settles down, I'll be able to put out more consistently as well. But thank you for tuning in. Drop a like, please subscribe, and I will catch all of you guys in 2026. Bye bye.